You're watching KBJR 6 News at 10 with Jennifer Austin, Dan Wolf, Zach Schneider, and Chief Meteorologist Adam Clark on KBJR 6, your weather authority.
If you circumnavigated all 5 of the Great Lakes, it would take you more than 6,100 miles. A Northland couple knows this because they mapped it out when they started planning the trip. Joe Zellner and Peggy Gabrielson will take off April 1st from Port Huron, Michigan. If everything goes as planned, they will be the first man and woman to paddle all 5 of the Great Lakes in one calendar year. In tonight's Northland's very own, we tell you about their plans for the journey and what might be even more important, the reason they're doing it.
Repaired so darn many boats. It's crazy.
Joe Zellner is a carpenter by trade.
Real scientific method here.
But on this day, his work is centered on his passion.
Wood is my work, and I love wood, don't get me wrong. That's what I do for a living. Every day is different. Every piece of wood is different. Kayaking's the same way. Water's different all the way through.
Joe would know. An avid paddler, he's been racing for at least 25 years. Many of his races are long distance, 50, 72, even more than 100 miles.
I keep going back to a race until I won them.
Now, he's about to go his longest distance yet.
And we are paddling all 5 of the Great Lakes. It's probably going to be closer to probably 6,500 miles to 6,800 by the time we get done.
Companies are donating gear and food. Joe's sister is trailing alongside on land in a camper, a place to store supplies and sleep when it's cold. Joe's partner on the trip is Peggy Gabrielson.
We did a race. We did a 92-mile race, and I didn't realize it was an audition.
Their expedition will start at the southern tip of Lake Huron. They'll make their way around each of the Great Lakes before ending in Detroit. It's a journey taking place to honor one cut short.
Callie Rohr is a little girl who got pediatric brain cancer. She was diagnosed at age 7 and she died 5 days before her 10th birthday. And so her parents do this race every year.
Joe and Peggy met Callie's parents through a race they hold every year in their daughter's memory.
And you look at her eyes and you just think you know her. It's just not fair. And so we've just decided that if we're going to do this, it should be for something.
Joe and Peggy are asking for sponsorship by the mile. The money will go to pediatric brain cancer research. They share a mission, and they also share a loss.
We married right out of high school. We were married for 20 years. We have 3 kids, and he was killed in Iraq.
Peggy's husband, Dan, was in the U.S. Army. He was killed in 2003.
He was just my big buddy.
9 years later, Joe would lose his spouse, too. His wife, Ann, died in 2012 of cancer.
She loved water, loved big waves.
It was a conversation with his wife that was the inspiration for the trip.
Because we live next to the lake up here, we paddle it all the time. And it just, one thing led to another. We eventually wanted to do all 5 of the Great Lakes. And, well, she passed away, so, I thought, well, I'm not getting any younger.
Now they're getting ready for the journey of a lifetime and not taking a minute of it for granted.
Life is way too short to save all the good stuff for later.
Along the way, Joe and Peggy are stopping in Chicago to visit a children's hospital. They are blogging about their journey on their website, 2paddling5.com. That's also where you can donate money. We'll have a link to it on our website. We mentioned the finish will be in Detroit. Joe says he hopes that happens sometime in October because he needs to be back in time for hunting season.